friends, my fellow fans, my fellow degenerates, welcome back. We are here to talk about UFC 246, Usman versus Masvidal 2. Yes, the baddest motherfucker and the Nigerian nightmare are going to lock horns yet again, and this time, the aforementioned Jorge Masvidal will have a full fight camp. I could not be more excited about that and the rest of this entire goddamn card. It's been a while since I've been here recording one of these fight bites, so as always, please remember to subscribe, like the video. If you really dig my shit, go ahead and share it to a friend. I appreciate the love. Guys, we are going to talk about everything from UFC 246 main card, less the main event. Join me tomorrow. I will drop a video talking about the main event. Again, the baddest motherfucker, Jorge Masvidal versus the Nigerian nightmare, Kamaru Usman 2. Join me tomorrow. I will drop that. Might do something live if they have the ceremonial weigh-ins at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will see. I do have to check that out. But, of course, I will be here tomorrow to talk about the main event. But let's get into the main card. If I wanted to, I could stay here for an hour and we can go all the way through the early prelims. We have Cowboy Oliveira versus Randy Brown to main event the prelims. That is going to be a hell of a fight. If I'm excited and there's enough liquor in me, I may just go live early on Saturday. If not, though, catch me at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for live coverage, live chat, live stats, etc., etc. And of course, the reason you're all here, your boy Mike Jesse MMA, to watch the fights on Saturday. The first card of the main event, we have Anthony Lionheart Smith versus Jimmy Crute. Fucking nickname. Jimmy Crute doesn't need it. I think he is the younger and hungrier fighter. I think his aggressive and very forward pressure-driven style is going to be more than what this version of Lionheart can withstand. Lionheart is on a skid. He has not looked great as of late. We've seen him get his teeth knocked out by Glover Teixeira. We've seen him get his head kneed in by John Jones. We've seen him get ended a few times as of late, and it hasn't particularly looked pretty. Jimmy Crute may not have ever looking like a world beater. Of course, to quote Dana White, you don't know Jimmy Crute? Most people do not know Jimmy Crute, and you probably don't get that fucking reference. But I do think that he has enough to beat this version of Lionheart Smith, which will garner him a higher caliber opponent in his next fight. And I think that will teach us a lot. Not to say that we won't learn very much against Jimmy Crute, because Lionheart ain't no bitch, like his name insinuates. Lionheart does not quit, even though there's been plenty of times where we think he should have. He will come forward. He will use his outside rangy boxing along with his really aggressive bite on the mouthpiece style to come at Jimmy Crute and give him everything he can take. But I think Jimmy Crute will be able to take it, and I don't think Anthony Smith will be able to do the same. Moving on, the next fight in this 5-fight main card event. Whoo, are you guys ready? It is Uriah Hall versus Chris Weidman 2. If you didn't know, they fought back in the day on a regional circuit, New Jersey, New York, etc., etc. And Chris Weidman did win. We know Chris Weidman came into the UFC as an undefeated talent. He did gain the championship as an undefeated talent, but that Chris Weidman is long gone. He is coming off a win against who the fuck remembers his name, and that's no disrespect. I say that to say I'm not going to waste my time to go over the resume of the person Chris Weidman had a win over, because you guys probably do not know him. Uriah Hall seems to be looking more confident and seems to be getting, it's weird to say growing into the striker we've all been waiting for him to be, because he's had some crazy finishes. He's had some really solid wins throughout his career. But remember, this is the guy coming out of The Ultimate Fighter that Dana White thought would fight Anderson Silva one day for the title. That never happened because Uriah Hall did not live up to the hype early. It looked like he didn't feel confident enough in himself to pull the trigger. And the times that he did look like he felt confident enough, he got KO'd at times. But Uriah Hall, again, looks like he's on a tear, looked like he is rejuvenated. Chris Weidman, even though he's coming off a win, I don't see enough to say that he's going to just be able to out-wrestle and grind Uriah Hall, which, of course, is going to be his main focus if he's smart, which Chris Weidman, if nothing else, is a smart fighter. He's going to try to wrestle him. He's going to try to make it dirty. He wants to push him against the fence and work his takedowns, especially those single legs, outside head, turn him and get him on the ground. Uriah Hall is not a guru when it comes to grappling. Chris Weidman is a master at this shit, and I think he's going to try to show that. But Uriah Hall hits really fucking hard. Uriah Hall is really fucking fast. Uriah Hall has all the intangibles, I believe, to be able to withstand the early blitzes of the wrestling and grappling exchanges from Chris Weidman, create enough range, enough times to land the right shot. I think he puts Chris Weidman out, and I think he does it before the bell of the second round. Guys, we are not even to the co-main event, and we are at our third fight and first of 3 title fights in UFC 261. Y'all was going to let me keep saying 246, right? Watching too many goddamn past fights. Anyway, UFC 261. Valentina Shevchenko, Jessica Andrade. Guys, I watched a couple of Jessica Andrade's fight to get ready for this fight card. I will continue watching fights of every fighter on this main card for the rest of the week. But what I got from Jessica Andrade, especially at 125, is that she is very fast. She has a speed advantage over most, if not all, of her opponents. We saw her move up, and of course when people move up, you expect them to have the speed advantage, which she did over Chookagian. But what it also looked like is that she had the power advantage. That is scary for every woman in 125. To see Jessica Andrade not have to cut that extra 10 pounds, to see her full and muscular and strong and quick, and I can't say great stamina because we didn't see her finish all 3 rounds of that fight. She didn't have to because she landed a disgusting body shot. It didn't look like at the time. Go ahead and watch that fight and watch that replay. She landed a nasty short right hand to the body of Chookagian, which hurt her so much that this professional fighter, Chookagian, this champion, this contender level fighter in Chookagian, audibly yelled and gasped and grimaced at this body shot. She couldn't take it, and she tried to come back into it because she's that tough. But as soon as Jessica Andrade landed another one of them hands to that body, it was lights out. It was done. It was over. She couldn't do anything else to defend herself. Now, to go back on what I just said, that every woman in 125 should be afraid of what they saw out of Jessica Andrade. Every woman except Valentina Shevchenko. She is not a woman. She is not a human. She is a robot. She is a 007 agent sent here to take over. She has and she will. There is no one at 125 that I believe can defeat Valentina Shevchenko, and Jessica Andrade will not be the woman to change my mind. Valentina Shevchenko does one of 2 things at 125. She either whips that ass and ends it however she chooses to within the first few rounds, or she just negates everything you try to do and has a long, drawn-out, slightly boring, but masterclass performance to which she takes the scorecard on every single judge's card. I don't see this being any different. I'm not sure that she can finish Jessica Andrade. It is possible. Jessica Andrade has been finished several times in the UFC. Not sure if Valentina Shevchenko can, but she will try. She will negate the straightforward pressure, even though Jessica Andrade has underrated head movement. Very a la, and I know Dana has said this before, Vanderlei Silva. She's very like square and like Muay Thai-ish in her stand-up approach, coming forward, hands high, just ready to eat some, to throw some. And of course, she has that nasty power. She doesn't throw a lot of leg kicks, but we saw when she did use that leg kick against Chookagian, the taller, longer fighter, it did damage. She dropped Chookagian with like the first or second leg kick that she threw, and it didn't even land exactly how Jessica Andrade had planned it to. But she's just a powerful young woman. Again, Shevchenko don't care. Shevchenko is going to do whatever she wants, and what I think she wants to do is stay outside, use her footwork, cut off the angles, not let Jessica Andrade back her into a corner to where she is able to connect with these looping hooks and these powerful kicks to the body. Shevchenko is going to keep Jessica Andrade on the outside, a la Rose Namajunas, the first round of their first fight. She was tagging Jessica Andrade up. Jessica Andrade had good head movement, but not enough to keep up with the pace and the accuracy of Rose. I think we're going to see the same thing here, except Shevchenko is more powerful than Rose Namajunas, as she showed with her power disparity against Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She manhandled Joanna like no other fighter has. Even the fighters that have beaten her haven't just looked that dominantly strong against Joanna. So I don't think Jessica Andrade is going to be that much stronger than Valentina, but I'm positive that the power disparity isn't going to be enough for Jessica Andrade to bully her, and that Shevchenko has enough power to put Jessica Andrade's lights out. I have Valentina Shevchenko. No idea how, though, guys. That is going to be a fun and exciting fight. And now the co-main event and the last fight we are going to discuss tonight. Again, join me tomorrow to talk about the main event, and join me Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern, for UFC 261, Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal 2, the baddest motherfucker versus the Nigerian Nightmare, guys. To me, the co-main event is the most exciting fight because I think it is going to be the most competitive fight. Not to say the other two title fights won't be more competitive, but I think that the champions in those fights have a clearer path to victory. Again, more on that a la the main event tomorrow. But we have Zhang Weili versus Rose Namajunas in the co-main event for the strawweight championship, which is the deepest, most talent-stacked women's division in the UFC and one of my top 3 favorite divisions in all of MMA. Rose Namajunas, even though she is going to be smaller by mass, right? She has a smothering style. Not smothering in a sense like Jessica Andrade. She doesn't come just straight forward and try to bully you with her power while she's eating shots. No, she smothers you by standing just out of range or just in range. If you're just in range, she has great head movement, guys. Great head movement. She's never in the same place twice. She's never keeping her head on the center line. She's always using her footwork with her head movement to make sure that she's not just just a sitting target. Now, she can get tagged, and we'll get into that in 2 seconds because we have seen that in previous fights. Look at her face at the end of the Jessica Andrade fight, the second one, that she wound up winning. But Rose knows where to be and when to be there better than 95% of the roster. I'm probably being generous. It's probably closer to 97 to 99%. And guys, I'm not even kind of exaggerating. She smothers you because you don't know if you're just out of range. You don't know if you're close enough to get a shot off. You don't know if, because she's there, if you throw that shot, maybe you'll miss it. Maybe she'll eat it, but she has a stronger or faster counter or a combination just waiting, which she has shown before. Look at that fight against her first fight against Joanna, where she knocked her ass out multiple times with great counter shots off blitzing, the blitzing style of Joanna. Now, and then we have Zhang Weili, who she does come forward, but she throws not just power shots, she throws power combinations. You'll see her throw a kick to the body followed by a cross, jab, hook. She'll throw 4, 5, 6 punches, but it's not exactly like Joanna would do, where she throws 7, 8, 9 punches, because almost in all of Joanna's, on a majority of Joanna's combination, she ended coming forward. Weili Zhang can throw these combinations, and at the end of the combination, she's either where she was, where she started, or she's to the side, or she's backwards. I know we just talked about Rose's head movement, but Zhang is no slouch when it comes to head movement and footwork herself. It's just a different style. Joanna is having you guess where she's at and where she can pick you apart from. Zhang will show you where she's at. Get in and be right the fuck out like that. It is going to be a great matchup. Both of these girls have shown that they can fight at a slow, steady, methodical pace. They've also shown, both against her fights against Joanna and other fights after and before, not after for Zhang, but you know what I mean, that they can have a blistering pace as well. I believe in the Joanna Zhang fight, they were at 300 strikes thrown after the second or third round, which is a crazy, ridiculous pace, and they were both landing. Now, both landing. We were just talking about how Rose Namajunas can get hit. The third round of her Jessica Andrade fight, obviously the second fight, the third round, her head movement slowed down a bit. She wasn't moving her head. She wasn't getting out off the center line. She was still throwing in flurries and beautiful combinations, but her head was there. She doesn't have enough power to just sit on these combinations like a Jessica Andrade or like even Weili Zhang. And for a while, like Joanna Jędrzejczyk, until it caught up with her in her Rose fights and against her Weili fight. And let's not even talk about the Valentina fight. But Rose has to keep that head movement up, because when she doesn't, what happened? Jessica Andrade hurt her 2 or 3 times, got her on the ground, and Rose's face looked drastically different from the end of the second round to the end of the third round because she got lazy with her head movement. She can't do that against these power punchers. She can't do that. Even if you don't count Weili Zhang as a power puncher, that young lady has power. If you don't believe me, go look at Joanna Jędrzejczyk's forehead from the last fight. It looked like something off of The Alien. Please believe me. But guys, in all seriousness, Weili Zhang, speed, power, accuracy. She can grapple against the fence, but she probably does not want to do so against a Rose. She can bully her maybe a little bit against the fence, use her mass, use her strength, and try to really test the gas tank of Rose, but it's not all that often that you see Rose slow down. We talked about one moment, but that's one moment of many moments. Rose doesn't really slow down, and she has fantastic jiu-jitsu. She can finish from her back, and she has great sweeps as well from her back. So Weili Zhang probably wants to keep it at range, blitz in when she can, and if she's going to push her against the fence, do it only to create clinching exchanges to try to tire Rose out and also to land some strikes. But even though this is going to be a very, very, very close fight, and I am a Thug Rose fan, I do have to pick Weili Zhang for this co-main event just because when you see a champion this dominant, and maybe she's not dominant in title defenses, but dominant in her performances, dominant in the sense of when it came down to her and Joanna, and there was one round left, and it could have been, as far as she knew, and on some of the scorecards, if not all of them, it was 2-2, and it came down to who's going to lead that room with that sandwich. Weili Zhang's going to take that shit. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, join me tomorrow to talk the main event, Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal, UFC 261, and then catch me Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for all that live fun goodness. See you then.